Hello, Iman Barbie here. So this is day 7 of me practicing my English speaking skill. Uh, I'm gonna be just talking about random topic to just practice my English speaking skill just for 10 minutes every single day. So I practice this kind of random topic, talking to myself and making video out of it so that I can really track my progress. And the thing I realized, I just realized something. Lots of people really like want to be fluent in English, but you know what? Sometimes they do not do the work required to be fluent, and it reminds me of something back in the day when I watched this movie from Hadar Samus. So like the video is titled "Number One Strategy to Become Fluent in English and Why You Don't Need to Speak Like a Native Speaker." And you know what? In this video, she explains about in order to become fluent, you really need to have a strategy. You cannot just like talking to random guides, random stuff, random people out of here and there, and then all of a sudden you become fluent. No, you really need a strategy. I just I just remember about it just now when I think about me becoming fluent. Like for example, I just thought about I just thought about using the word. I think uh the hardest part of learning a language is it's not remembering the vocabulary. It's not the grammar also, because if you if you're dealing with grammar, you kind of like you just doing lots of question like lots of problems and then you solve it yourself. You're just learn from the grammar book. But the hardest part of learning a language, I think, is knowing how to use a word, how to use a phrase, in what context, in what situation. So I think uh i'm I'm looking at as like uh in the linguistic there are a lot of fields, like there are syntax, and then I forgot phonology, syntax, phonology, and morphology, and also like uh I forgot the one thing, like semantic. Semantic is dealing with the meaning. So I think I'm a semantic person in the sense that I really care about what the phrase mean. What if I'm learning a phrase, for example, if I'm learning vocabularies, I need to know how to use the word, in what context, in what situation. Because if you are using it wrongly, people will get the meaning also wrongly. Uh, you try to send a message. You try to send a message A, for example, and then people will translate it as B. So I think that's a really that's fatal. I think even though if you are using good grammar and all of that, your grammar is perfect, but when you deliver it, people kind of like have translate it differently. Translate the meaning. Interpret it differently. You try to deliver message A, and then people suddenly they think message B. It's a really that's why I'm uh I'm so care about that kind of stuff. So how to use the word in the right context, because if you don't use that word in the right context, people will will misunderstand you. For number one, people will misunderstand you. Number two, maybe people will get angry with you, because of something that you're not supposed to say, but you're saying in the wrong situation, in the wrong context. So I think that's the hardest part, because I'm always looking at it as like, uh I'm always looking at a language as a mean to communicate, as a media to communicate. I'm not thinking about a language as like, oh, I need to show my language by showing my score of TOEFL test, or my score in IELTS test. I'm not thinking about that, because uh but if we're talking about IELTS tests, there is a test of speaking skills, when where you are talking to the how do you say this in English? How do you say this? Okay. Okay. The examiner. So, the examiner will ask you something, and then you try to give answer based on what the examiners are asking to you, and then you kind of like give a answer to that, and then the examiner will, because he or she is a native English speaker, he can really judge by the way you use the grammar, and then the way you use the vocabulary. Is it rich enough? And then it's kind of like that. Can you really express your idea with a lot of different words, so it means that you have lots of word, you have rich vocabulary, and then the thing is, i I always think that learning a language is a media to communicate. Even though if you cannot speak fluently in English, for example, like you just using your body language when speaking English, because sometimes you don't know how to say in English, and then you use your body language to deliver the message with like with a like how do you call it, with like a natural with like broken grammar, like broken sentences. I eat. For example, if you say like, I want to eat, but instead of saying I want to eat, you say like, I eat. I eat, I eat it. And then the person who look at you, he will get the message. Oh, and then he will ask you like, oh, do you want to eat? Are you hungry? Are you hungry, and do you want to eat? Yes, yes, I hungry. Okay, would you want to eat? And then uh even though he cannot speak fluent in English, but the message that he delivers, that he is hungry, is uh correctly interpret, correctly achieve, correctly the how do you call it, correctly interpret by the uh by your partner, by your speaking partner. And if you can do that, I think you don't have problem with your English, because uh the the bigger problem is when you can really speak with good English, with good grammar, but instead of like you want to deliver message A to that person, and then that person interpret your message being B, it's really awful, man. In the sense of communicating with other people. I think that's awful, so I think it is really all about communicating. If you can really communicate, and then the person that you talk to is really like understand what you what the meaning that you want to transfer to him. Doesn't matter if your grammar is not really good, because you can really like fix along the way, I think. Okay, so I think that's all for now, because it's already 10 minutes, so I gotta go. Talk to you soon, and bye bye.